So we are on the eve of glorious Goodwood. What was glorious Goodwood, now very well known as the Qatar Goodwood Festival. 5 days of spectacular action. It is midsummer. It's probably one of the most popular festivals of the year. So much high quality racing, plenty of Group 1 action. And I'm really pleased that Tom Collins is joining me again to go through what is set to be a really, really good week. Tom, I love Goodwood. I'm not sure about you. I think it's just the most beautiful race course. We've always treated to spectacular field sizes, really good handicaps, lots of good punting opportunities, which I'm sure you like. What are your thoughts going into Goodwood? Are you excited to have it back on again?
Yeah, hi Jess. Yeah, I'm very excited. It's the second best flat festival for me behind Royal Ascot. It's great because obviously you get 5 days of action, much like at Ascot. You've got the competitive handicaps, as you say. You get basically every type of puzzle at Goodwood. The track as well is different. You don't get straight, just flat tracks and straight tracks like you get sometimes at Ascot and whatnot. It's a camber at Goodwood. You need to look for trainers, jockeys, the races. There's lots of pieces of the puzzle that you need to put together to find winners, but that's what makes Glorious Goodwood so good.
And you talk about trainers that target it, and there is one man that every year comes back to Goodwood with a flurry of horses, and he's striking really good form, and that's Mark Johnson. And I think that's where we'll start for first day one on the Tuesday of Goodwood, because the 150, the Chesterfield Cup, is always a very competitive handicap. And Tom, there's a horse in here that is trained by the man himself, Mark Johnson, that you're really looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, well, I went years thinking that this Mark Johnson thing that he targets his horses at Goodwood is a myth, because he has so many runners there, and you tend to, the fancied horses tend to lose. And oh God, well, people are just saying this because he pops up with the odd winner. But I was wrong. He always has winners at Glorious Goodwood. He's the best trainer at the meeting. First race is a middle distance handicap. You don't want to look beyond Mark Johnson. I want to strike while the iron is hot. First race, get a winner on the board, and hopefully May Danny will be that winner.
Yeah, and quickly on May Danny, it's an interesting horse. He sort of bombed out in the Royal Hunt Cup, but he's definitely better, more capable than that. And he showed that at Sandown last time, where looked to me that this step up to 1 mile 2 furlongs is exactly what he needs. And his jockey, I think, weighed in overweight. So actually that could have been what between the winning and the losing. But this step up in trip looks tailor-made for him.
Exactly that. I think that the fact that Dane O'Neill weighed in, I think it was £3 over or something like that, cost him the race there behind Magical Morning, who's a very good horse. May Danny does bomb out every now and again, but most Mark Johnson horses do. They run so often that they can't just consistently post the same kind of, RPRs and results, ratings, whatever you want to describe it as. He's rated 102. Arguably, May Danny has been a little bit disappointing throughout his career, because look, if you look at his sale price, 1.35 million. He's a son of Dubai. We buy out of attraction, like one of the best bred horses in training. He's been a bit disappointing on the face of it. However, last year in this race, he bolted up by 5 lengths. He was extremely impressive. That came off a mark of 90. He was obviously very well handicapped. Now he's running off a mark of 102, so £12 higher. He's shown this year in 2 runs, I think, that he's ready to do it again. And the return to Goodwood is a big plus. Now, Connections were debating going towards the Golden Mile, I think on Friday or Thursday. But I'm happy they're going for this race again. I think it's tailor-made for May Danny. And if Jim Crowley adopts the same kind of tactics as last year, I think he's going to have an edge over the field and hopefully get us off to a winning mark.
Yeah, as you say, a winner at this track. Track form is always really important. There's a horse in here that I'm curious to see if he does end up in this race. He's been pretty difficult to follow, because every time we think he's going to run, he's pulled out a non-runner, and that's Migration for David Menuisier and Gail Brown Racing. He's a horse that's had his issues and came back after a massive long break. It was nearly 2 years and we're really eye-catching at Salisbury. They probably want a bit of rain to come, but if he does tip up and they actually run him, they're doing it because, as David Menuisier always does, they really target their horses rightly. So I do like that horse, and interested to see if he appears. But that Tuesday is going to be all about. But the Tuesday at Goodwood is going to be all about the reigning champion, the king of Goodwood in the Goodwood Cup, and that's Stradivarius, bidding to have his 5th win in the race. And every year he comes back and he faces a new challenge. He had to give a lot of weight away last year. He faces young up-and-coming pretenders. He's not getting any younger. He's 7 years old now. 5 Goodwood Cups is pretty unprecedented, and unfortunately we don't have the match that we wanted against Subjectivist because of his injury, Tom. But is this the race for him to lose? Do you think he's vulnerable? What do you make of the 6-5 which you can currently get about him?
I think it is his race to lose. He is the standout in the field. Stradivarius, he always does what you expect. He always runs well. He's a top level horse over trips ranging from 1 mile 4 to 2 mile 4. He's so versatile and so talented. There were doubters coming into this year as a 7-year-old that he was going to, regress. He wasn't going to be at the same level. But in the Sagaro Stakes first time up, I thought it was very impressive. He beat Ocean Wind by a length. He looked right back to his best to me, albeit he was £9 below his career best RPR that day. I thought at Ascot he was the second best horse in the race. Subjectivist definitely would have won. I know some people were saying that Stradivarius would have won, barring the hampering around the bend, but I don't believe in all that rubbish. Subjectivist was a cut above that day. But take nothing away from Stradivarius. He actually ran a very good race, and it's worth noting that he posted the quickest sectional between 2 furlongs and 1 furlong out that day. So although he was hampered between 3 and 2 furlongs out, he still quickened up exceptionally well. And the only reason he finished 4th was Frankie was just a bit, easy on him close home. We didn't want to give him a hard race for 2nd or 3rd. And he got hampered against the rail as well. I think if Stradivarius, now dropping back to 2 miles, reproduces that effort, or what we saw in the Sagaro, or what we've seen in this Goodwood Cup for the last 4 years, then he's going to win the race. Obviously, he's got to reverse the form with Spanish Mission from Ascot, but Spanish Mission got a much easier run through that race. I think Stradivarius is better at 2 miles and at this track than Spanish Mission will be. Hopefully it's the favourites race to lose, and Stradivarius will become the first horse to win this race 5 times.